Oh,
Welcome
God.
to Garblack Games. It's Friday night and we're going to do some world building with me and Nye. Nye's joining me this evening to have a bit of a poke at some of the cool bits that are on Spectaculars. We're taking another run at that. And right now I'm precariously balancing everything in my little cupboard because I wanted to just sort of drive home how ridiculously enormous this whole pack is. This is the box.
Yes, it's
to
just
turn
absurd.
My background off, so behold the mystery behind the curtain. It is an actual cupboard. So yeah, this is the box, and it's huge. Lovely city skyline going on there. You got the inside of the box with dice and tokens and cards.
Hey, I just realised something. We're the cupboard streamers.
We're the cupboard streamers.
We are. Oh my God.
The images have gone. What, the whole screen?
Yeah, the whole screen's gone apparently. I don't know. For those wondering at home, I have the Twitch open, but I'm stuck on a Final Fantasy ad that won't go. I'm going to have to like refresh.
No, well, hopefully that's brought the faces back. The box has power of invisibility. It must do.
Right.
Where have the faces gone?
Come on. I want to see the chat.
You're kidding me.
I want to see the chat.
Right, I've got my faces showing. It says that they're right here.
Oh, Zoom's gone. Okay.
Zoom's gone. Yeah. So at least you can still hear.
Oh wait.
So there's that.
Which I'll mute. There we go.
Yeah, the faces have completely gone. How bizarre is that? Well, in the back end of the screen, I am now poking at the faces. You're going to think I'm the incompetent one at this rate. Obviously, I'm a wizard of a wordsmith, but not a technical genius. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to poke at the... Give me back my face.
Oh, it's an X. Xbox, go away. There we go. I can now see. I can't hear because I've muted the stream, but that's for the good. Good of society. Yeah. So like just for some context on what this was like, naturally, you know, I was just lazing about doing my thing, and then my red phone that I keep on the desk for emergencies rings, and that's when Ben was like, "Look, we need you now," and I'm like, "I can't do one more job." It's like, "No, we need you," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And that's how I ended up on this stream as Ben's partner.
We need you, Nye man.
Exactly. Pat, cute. No, I'm definitely the Robin in this situation, and 60s Robin. Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. But now nothing's going to work. So we take that out.
Holy lawnmowers!
Holy lawnmowers.
I don't know what he said. I've only seen a couple episodes.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I would not have put it past 60s Batman to have made a holy lawnmowers Batman kind of remark.
Exactly, yeah. When they fought his arch nemesis, Moore, the
in 60s Batman, there probably was a lawnmower.
There probably was, yeah. It was a tough time, you know. They were just sitting around going, "What the fuck do we make these guys fight? They've fought penguins. What do we do, people? I don't know,
how do we top penguins?
Fuck it. I know.
The Clock
Holy
King. Yeah, a clock-based bad guy. How could that possibly go wrong?
Does he have time powers? No, he
had no powers.
No,
none whatsoever. He just had clock-based shenanigans.
Beowulf put a great one. Captain World Builder and Nye Wonder.
Right, there we go. Hopefully you can now see faces because the box hasn't destroyed everything. So we return to the enormousness of the box. Behold it in all of its mighty glory. It is significantly larger than my head. And inside the box, there are lots and lots of goodies. There's loads of different kinds of tokens. So there's like your power tokens. And there's your time tokens. Ooh, look, it's got an hourglass on. You get a whole bag of dice. There's 10s and 8s, and there's special magic-y superhero stuff. And then it gets into the cards, and the cards are just madness. So there's one deck of cards for basic powers, including such classics as Energy Blast.
Yep, nice and generic.
Then each separate chapter of the game has its own sub-deck. So we've got a deck of cards for Explorers of the Unknown. We've got a deck of cards for Streetlight Knights, which is the one that Matt's going to be doing, their nice orange colour. We've got Clash Among the Stars, again, another one for Matt. Magic Missile is Energy Blast, yes, I will take that. But it's Superhero Energy Blast. We got a whole deck of cards for your secret identities. Ooh. Which range from royalty to stellar drifter. I don't think that means that you're particularly good at drifting. I think it means that you drift amongst the stars.
I mean, when I think about a classic, superhero backstory, I think of royalty. It's so there's so many royals roaming about that it's so innocuous.
Black Panther.
That's true. Yeah,
the
that's
King
very
of Wakanda.
true.
There are in fact two decks of identities cards because of the many different identities you can have. But there's also the role cards in there. So what role you play in the team? Are you the tank, for instance? Super Flatulence is not included, but you could use Energy Blast as a flatulence-based power if you particularly wanted to, Beowulf.
You would.
I don't know why you would.
However,
I do know why you would. You'd be Jim, wouldn't you? There's decks of cards for complications. There's decks of cards for initiative.
My lord. Okay.
It's just cards. But to help keep track of all of these many cards, your character sheet is capably assisted by this deluxe plastic tray. And onto the plastic tray, your character sheet sits quite nicely, thusly, and then your powers can sit on here like that.
Oh.
Well, it fell off because I've got the whole book on. But they can sit on there and you get your 3 powers.
World Master and Captain 9. I'm always going to have chat open now. This is the best.
Having chat open is so much better. The box was not designed with cupboards in mind. I agree entirely. So I'm just shenanigan. So you've got your pad of character sheets, tear off pad, information about your characters. That's a nice touch.
Makes you feel like a reporter,
Yeah, we've already covered the 2 adventure games that I'm going to do. Eldritch Mysteries, our first one, and Explorers of the Unknown. A little bit of comic special effect there.
What are they called? There's a comic book term. I think it's like ashcan copies, but it's like they would make comics but like black and white and not drawn properly because it was literally just they wanted to make it so they could have the idea copyrighted. So it's like Superman fights a bear with chainsaws. Right, draw that quickly. Boom. We technically have the
we have the legal right to Superman fights a bear with a chainsaw.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you've got your character sheets. You've got your. Don't you dare tell me something went wrong. No, Discord just tried to open.
Do you want to play with Discord? No, Discord, go away. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's... Discord.
I swear this computer has a mind of its own. It's got it in for me. I've been welcomed back to the chat room. Thanks, chat. So we've got your character sheets. They go in there. You've got Streetlight Knights, which is Matt's little adventure. That's going in there. Clash Among the Stars, Matt's big finale adventure. That's going in there. I'm throwing in Eldritch Mysteries and Explorers of the Unknown, and I'm going to put the lid on.
Well, I can say this safely. I'm very excited. Love world building.
If I can fit the lid and me in my 1 meter square cupboard. It's fine, says Pete. It's fine. Everything's fine. Nobody panic. So, last session of this, which was on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Beowulf, oh, for crying out loud. It's doing it now.
Oh my, okay. Well, I'm gonna thingy. Okay. Yes, that's what Ben was gonna say. It is a very Constantine with a bit of Cthulhu. Like, that's definitely the vibe that I got when it was described to me, which is awesome. Is it an Amstrad? I have no. What's an Amstrad? I don't know.
An Amstrad is a very old, very naff computer.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Aramichi. I didn't know that what that was. Don't panic. It's all good. It's fine.
Right, get the box out of there. I'm wondering if maybe I'm knocking the Ethernet cable or something. Seriously, what the hell?
It's all good. As long as they can still hear us. It is.
Right. Oh, they can still hear us.
Yeah, that's
not
fine.
Enough memory to open this page.
Oh my goodness, dearie me.
Don't give me that.
It's fine. It's fine, Asherdale, because you know, this is basically turning into a podcast. And our beautiful
podcast.
faces.
We
I
know. It's back. We can see. Video's back. I'm just going to move my foot away from the computer and not touch anything. We're the Keystone Cops, the C team. We don't even regulate as the B team anymore. Have you tried installing a bigger potato? I think I might be the potato in this picture.
Yeah, but potatoes are delicious.
Potatoes are delicious. Thank you.
Can't expect me to leave an edible potato right there and not, cook it. Can't use that for a computer.
I don't know. I'm going to kill the dice roller. That can go. You can roll dice for me.
Ooh,
yeah,
fun. I'll use my physical ones.
Yep, actual physical dice, because that might have been part of the problem. Do you have any metal in your shoes? Everything I own is metal.
I used to have metal in my teeth. But they fell out, so I don't have metal in my teeth.
Previously on Spectaculars Worldbuilding.
Oh God.
We started looking at the fictional setting that we're using for the England-based Eldritch Mysteries adventure, and we came up with the fact that we're going to do it in the modern day. We're looking at a replacement for London. There you go. Everybody loves that you made that noise. You serve a function.
Oh, well, thank goodness. That's always my biggest concern.
So we came up with the city of Dunchester in England, which is the capital of England now, in the same way that Metropolis is the capital of America or something. Cardiff is a place, Spider Queen.
Well, it's all just, we need a big named city, but we don't want to destroy a real city, so we have pretend cities to do that.
And as it happens, interesting that you picked Cardiff, because the thing that makes Dunchester special about cities in terms of superhero-ness is that it has a dimensional rift located within.
Which remind me of several UK
which
cities.
is a standing plot point in Doctor Who, that Cardiff has a space-time rift running through the middle of it. What would be the British version of Swamp Thing? Probably Fenchap.
Yeah, or Mire Lads. Bog Boy. Oh, that's perfect.
Bog Boy.
I mean, we do have... Oh, Moor Thing. Oh, I like that. Moor Thing.
No, I think Moor Thing is the love interest in the Kate Bush song Wuthering Heights.
Oh, well, of course, naturally, yeah.
So we've got the city of Dunchester, which is nicknamed the Old Cow because it used to be a cattle crossing in pre-Roman Britain. Also known as the Big Sink because quite often it is sinking into the mud around the river estuary upon which it sits. It has a bad neighbourhood called Southdown, a commercial centre called Deswich, a financial district called Sevenside, which got a lot of love on YouTube because it reminded people of bits of Cardiff. The old part of town is called Romeville, and I think there's probably going to be some ruins and at least a wall there. We do love our Roman walls. Yeah. There's a quiet suburb called Oak Hallow, and the trendy neighbourhood is Bangla Town, which the kids call Bang Town. So there's going to be lots of sort of DC vibes going on, Bhangra music, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. And
Secret knowledge, it's really called the Big Sink because the Hellgate acts like a plug hole, sucking life and hope down into the darkness beyond.
That's just Britain.
No, Pete, it's not London.
Yeah. No. It's Dunchester.
Yeah.
Which,
Well, we looked at some landmarks as well.
Yes.
So we've got the government building, which is Dunchester Abbey, a former religious location. DC vibes? No, Desi vibes. Dinka 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 dinka. Bangra music. Historic building is Rookham Palace, which is absolutely Buckingham Palace and the Tower of London mashed together to make one beautiful syncretic whole. There is an iconic skyline feature of the Sevenside Bridge, sports arena called the Tri-Stadium Dome, which is a massive dome containing 3 stadia within it. The tallest building is called the Blade, and we may come into that a little bit later as we potentially look at other stuff. Question of what's Desi Vibes? Desi Vibes is sort of Indian, Bangladeshi, Pakistani pop music, dance music, fusion hybrid stuff.
It's pretty cool.
It was also the name of the Bangra Desi night that we used to have at my old university. So there's a tourist attraction, the Dimensional Anchor Free House, a pub that is in a different place in town every day because it's linked to the dimensional rift and not to the streets that it's on. So it's on a different street on different days. There is also a vertical garden, a building covered in gardens that grows straight up in the middle of the town. What we know about the city is that it's rundown, dystopian and anachronistic. So, yeah, kind of like London.
Yeah.
In our setting, superheroes are medium common, which means that everyone is likely to have crossed paths with one at some point. Of course, there are catacombs and medieval dungeons under the city. That would be mad. You'd have to not. Who wouldn't put those in?
Yeah.
Like villains, however, are only a rare appearance, but when they do appear, they're big bads. So the kind of villains that supers deal with on the daily is kind of bank robbers and gangs and things like that. The authorities aren't big fans of superheroes unless they're licensed superheroes. The media are torn on whether they're celebrities, a controversy, or whether they're feared. They do occasionally die in the line of duty, but it's considered a very big deal when they do. Big state funerals and stuff like that. Then we started looking at some of the bits and pieces that go on to develop the setting. So inside the setting book that comes with the box, which is the shape of the box, you've got loads and loads of world building prompts. It's like superhero Mad Libs going on in here. And we looked last session on Monday. I keep wanting to say last week, but it wasn't last week, it was Monday. We talked about the powerful artifact. So this is our Mjolnir, our Infinity Stone, our Miggy item of ultimate power. And it's the Yggdrasilian Splinter, or the Staff of the World Tree, which disrupts brain waves over time, is a capricious item capable of dimensional travel, summoning, and reality damage. Make of that what you will.
So not a thing you want to pick up on a building site and go, what's this plank doing around here? And then
it's the kind of thing where if you did pick it up on a building site, you would have an instant superhero creation story right then and there.
Yeah, or
the power of it went kablamo and changed you. Yes, work for us or get locked in the dimensional tower of not London.
Yeah.
One of the things we wanted to start looking at today was some of the other subsections of this. So, we've got, for your entertainment and delight, the Super Science Lab. Bum, bum, bum. Another classic staple of superhero fiction.
Of course.
Whether it's Star Labs from The Flash and DC, or
Stark Industries
in Marvel,
Parker Industry. There's a lot of industries.
Yeah. There's the engineering side, and then there's also the research sides, and there are loads of different examples of them.
and all different
Right.
sciences.
Stark Industries and Star Labs are the examples they even think about in the book. So,
Oh, that's sweet.
yeah. So we need to name our super science lab, and remembering as well that it's terribly British.
Yes, of course.
It's got to be some kind of research institute.
Yes. What would we say they're researching? Like, is it kind of a general thing, or do they have a specific type of science that they pursue?
Well, we also need it to make a clever acronym.
Of course, yes.
So we've got an R and an I. What? A word that ends in rit.
Rit. Ooh, okay. Okay. Oh, I'm trying to think now.
Gardner Bookthwaite Laboratories.
Rit.
Like Northern Stark. Stark, you come back here.
Oh God, no, I'm rubbish for names.
Brit. Brit is brilliant. So we need a B. So Buckthwaite is looking good there, Bubble Reg.
Buckthwaite Research Institute. What's the T for?
Technology.
So
I think we're going to Prit. Prit's got some mileage, but everybody would make lots of jokes about glue sticks. And
yeah, that's very true.
I have fallen foul of acronyms and rhymes before. I want to try and avoid it again. So we're going to go with Brit because also, it's British industry, isn't it?
Buchanan. No, that's someone's name.
I like Buckthwaite, which is the one that Bubble Reg came up with. So we're thinking back to industrial revolution, lots of factories up north, people making great big wadges of money from out of
that'd be
what be going on. So Buckthwaite probably started out as mill and then branched out into looking at technology, was able to set up a foundation and then a research institute.
All right, okay. Interesting. I like that.
So I like Brit. Brit is pretty cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So the Buckthwaite first appearance. TBD. That old chestnut.
Okay.
What kind of organisation owns and operates this lab? Are they benevolent, malicious, government, or a front for an outside force? Ooh. That's a D4.
Okay, do you want me to?
Yeah.
Do you want me to roll?
Go for it.
Okay. Where's my D4? There it is. It's tiny, so I didn't see it. Okay. Oh, I just threw it at myself. Okay.
Caltrops.
Oh God! Fucking hell! Where are you, little bastard?
Yep, we are definitely 60s Batman and Robin.
3. It lands on the floor, so I don't know if that I have to re-roll it.
3 would make it a government office.
Okay.
We've already got government. We've got government shenanigans going on. Roll it.
All right, I'll re-roll.
Yeah.
Fucker. It's falling off. I need to. Where is it? There. Okay.
That's
going in a
right,
box.
Robin.
That's a 1. There
1.
we go.
So it's a benevolent corporation.
Benevolent.
That's nice. We haven't got a benevolent corporation yet.
British Research Institute of Technology and Instances Supernaturally Harmful.
For full
That's
British.
For spirit. Oh, is that Brit?
That's
that's
British.
British. Okay. Oh, okay, interesting.
I think that tries too hard. That's S.H.I.E.L.D. right there, isn't it?
Yeah. Well.
And logistics division, because that's the only way we can get the L and the D together.
I think that's always the problem I have. Yeah, I do need a bigger table on the Michi. That's always a problem I have with like acronyms. They always feel like they just wanted an acronym and didn't really consider how the words came together. Yeah. And shield and sword are the most glaring. It's like, we get it. One's a shield, one's a sword, but the naming thing makes no sense.
So how much does the lab broadcast its existence? So you've got a choice. They've got branded consumer goods. They're a government contractor. They're a think tank. Advanced idea mechanics.
Ooh,
Did we need the mechanics there? No, but it made AIM, didn't it?
Yep, it did. And
or they're a
aiming at
secret
something.
lab. So,
okay.
ooh, any of those are good, really, aren't they?
Do you want me to roll again, or do you want to pick one?
I think let's have a look at a D4.
Okay. That's another one.
That's another one. So they've got branded consumer goods.
Okay, so it's a benevolent company that is very open about what it does. Yeah. Okay.
So they're kind of British Stark Industries by the sound of things.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That works. Okay. And there's nothing
Yeah.
stopping us creating another super science lab full of evil guys later.
Of course, yeah.
Where is the lab physically located? Now, there's been some chat in the chat there about putting it in our big shiny building, which was called the Blade. So I think it's entirely reasonable to suggest that they built the Blade. Free Wi-Fi for all of not London.
Like Dyson, but not run by Dyson. Very accurate. To be honest, most corporations you could just say it's so and so, except not run by the same so and so.
Not based.
I'm trying to think. So, okay, so they give out consumer. They are a consumer corporation, so they give things out to the people. They are benevolent, so presumably, well, there's a lot of ways you can read that, isn't there? Because benevolent, I mean, that means that they are going out of their way to do good, right?
Yeah.
So we can't just say like, oh, we're kind of neutral, so we just sell things. So they have to be selling good things. Okay, interesting.
So the idea of free Wi-Fi for all is a great start. That could be one of their benevolent things, and that's why everybody sees them as benevolent. And what are they trying to accomplish? Are they want to close the rift? They want everyone to have superpowers? Do they want to make bubblegum that doesn't lose its flavour after 3 minutes? 3 minutes? You're bloody lucky. And get all the flavour out of bubblegum in like 4 seconds. Then it's like chewing on Play-Doh.
I'm trying to think. So, I'm having a look at some of these suggestions. So closing the rift. See, I don't know. I feel that's a big thing for what is effectively a consumer goods company to do. The giving superpowers sounds interesting. Kind of like a positive Sinestro from The Incredibles. Like, no, we really do just want to give people superpowers, but maybe not like flight.
I quite like the idea of them having a bit of a syndrome vibe. Like, let's make everybody special through technology.
Yeah. No, I agree. But what I'm saying is it's like, rather than it being like, you can lift a car or you can fly, it's more kind of like, yeah, this is like a little device that, you know, makes doing this aspect of your daily life a bit easier. And it's like, still like, if we had it, we'd be like, holy shit, that's awesome. But to them, it's like, yeah, I just have a little ball that, you know, allows me to levitate small objects towards me. It's like, that's cool. It's like, they'll have an update in about a year and I'll have to get a new tiny ball of telekinesis.
See, the conspiracy theories have kicked off in chat already. Free Wi-Fi would give them info. What if their engineering comes from stuff they look at through the rift?
Ooh.
What's really inside all of those Brit boxes around town? I love those. Those are fantastic.
Okay,
so
I like a Brit
what's
box.
their main product? Weapons, industrial, information, medical, or theoretical? It's got to be industrial or medical, really, hasn't it?
Because the other two are not.
So let's go with industrial and medical.
Okay. Well, if they're benevolent, perhaps kind of combining a couple of things that have been suggested here, they are. So I'd be interested. I don't know how you feel about kind of mixing the rift into it, but perhaps however we choose that they've got this technology, they're trying to provide maybe social benefits to people, and medicine is the commercial one that they use, and maybe the Wi-Fi stuff or other things are like kind of, hey, this is something we're trying to do. We're trying to move into this.
I quite like the idea
industry.
that they're aware of the rift, but they've got absolutely nothing they can do about it.
Oh, I'd love
because
that.
their technology and it's magic.
Well, think of it this way. If we're going around in this circle, it's kind of like if a giant dimensional rift opened and we go, Tesco's, do you have the answer? And Tesco's goes, no, we do not. But it's buy one, get one free on washing up gloves. So if you need any of them,
We've got your back.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
So industrial medical products. So we're looking at things to extend and improve life.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
that can
Well,
include things like prosthetics, and some of their stuff could be used for nefarious aims.
Exactly. Yeah. It's definitely. I don't know how you feel about this, but I do like the idea of like they genuinely do mean well, but they're a little bit too like we want to help everybody, but we're not really going to consider the ramifications of giving people this stuff. So it's like, hey, do you want an arm that can lift 10 times your weight? Yeah. Great. It's like he's going to behave with that. Of course.
He works on the docks. Having an
Yeah,
arm
yeah.
that can lift 10 times his weight will be really
Yeah.
useful to him professionally.
Yeah.
That guy then goes and rips the vault door off of a bank. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, oh, well, we would just try help. We know, we know, Brett. Thank you for. Try getting the Wi-Fi up. Do that, all right?
Altruistic do-gooders who keep giving out this stuff.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, with possible litigation and being investigated by supers and by the police for all of their stuff getting used for criminal stuff. So maybe there's a leak in the company that's they make an endoskeleton to help people with spinal injuries, and now there's people running down armored vehicles.
To be fair, I'm sure that they do a lot of good, and statistically the good outweighs the bad that they incidentally cause. But I do like that, just that kind of...
So how do they interact with people with powers? Do they see them as research subjects? Do they employ or sponsor them? Do they use them for field testing? Or do they try and clean up their messes?
Well, I think the last one doesn't work as well.
I don't think any of them particularly work. I like the equalising the common man.
I quite like that. I was going to say because they'd have to have some interaction. Maybe the testing out thing. So it's like, hey, you can lift 10 times your weight. Do you want to compare? Like, it's a super it's just experimentation. Like, you guys are the only things we have for reference material, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So they want to interact with powers by equalising the common man with the people who have the powers. So they will have in contract heroes and like run tests and stuff on them.
Exactly.
And the heroes are getting paid. They go in, they're doing a couple of tests. They're like, no biggie.
Yeah.
Nothing bad happened to me. But there'll always be that rumour that the one guy who went in who never came out again. Yeah, exactly, Norman Smith. Good guy with a gun. The only thing that could stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And there we go. We've now got the Buckthwaite Research Institute of Technology. I love it. There's some brilliant ideas in there.
Yeah, definitely. And I like the world building because while we started off random, we kind of, by the randomness beginning, we had to kind of say, well, we can't just roll because like some of the stuff is incongruous with what we've just said.
So you can't have a benevolent corporation that makes like weapons and tests them on superheroes. Yeah,
because they can't go, hey, I mean, we're good guys. You make like nukes. Friendly nukes.
Paint smiles on all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that kind of narrowing it down.
So we looked at the government agency, MI7, the Ministry of Extranormal Affairs, and they monitor superhuman and supernatural activity, wear tailored nondescript suits, Kingsmen. Yeah, very much like Kingsmen. Only they have a cache of magical items that they have access to that enables them to go toe-to-toe with supers from time to time.
Yeah.
The next thing we want to look at is the bad neighbourhood.
Okie doke.
Now, our bad neighbourhood was... coming back up to the bad neighbourhood. South Down.
Okie doke.
Hey, South Down.
South Down.
Didn't need to write it in brackets up there because the very first thing it asks is, when's it used? What's it called? First appearance. I'm typing so quickly, I'm making typos.
Yeah, they happen.
Reminds me of hackers.
Oh yeah, the
yeah, excuse me.
Bless you.
Definitely not Southend or Downside. Neither of those places. It's South Down. It's completely different and separate from either of those places. And in this neighbourhood, so examples include Hell's Kitchen and the East End of Gotham. Yeah, the East End of London.
Pretty much, yeah.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
What is the neighbourhood's history? And what it gives us there...
Oh, interesting, Norman Smith.
South End.
Yeah.
2 A's and an F.
Okay. So are you wanting
So
to...
some of the suggestions it gives you is once prosperous, fallen from grace. It's an immigrant neighbourhood. It suffered an industrial collapse. It's rotting from the inside, or as a pariah ghetto. Interesting, the pariah angle, because that ties into a later thing. But I quite like rotting from the inside there. Don't know what you think.
Well, I was gonna say if we're going with the buckwheat aspect, I mean, and also for those who are not familiar, there are a lot of like British cities that were once these big industrial hubs, and then obviously once the industry started to recede, I don't know if rotting in from the inside makes the same connotations, but I think there was an area where it said
no, that'd be industrial collapse that you're thinking.
Okay, that's fine.
But so I think there's mileage there for both.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing stopping us using more than one.
Of course, yeah. No, that I don't know. From where I'm kind of coming from, it makes I said buckwheat, which was not how I was supposed to say it, but my brain was going too quick. The thing, the way that I see it is, I think that's kind of a good example, because I always feel like when people talk about like rough neighborhoods, it always ignores the reason why that area is struggling. It's like it's rough. It's like, well, the reason it's rough is because that whole area was once very prosperous or was doing well, but that aspect of the city has just let it fall behind and have kind of forgotten it, and that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I like the industrial collapse angle for one of the reasons it's being run down, but I like as well, and I'm going to borrow from Werewolf, the apocalypse here.
Okay, yeah.
When we say rotting from the inside, we don't just mean, oh, it's shit and it's always been shit.
Yeah.
There's an interdimensional rift with a portal to hell in this town.
Okay, yeah.
So once that area collapses and hopelessness and despair takes over and everything starts to run down, then you start to attract
the equivalent of like
bad
parasites.
Things. You get your parasites, you get your Bane spirits, if you like, from...
Okay,
crack on.
I was going to say, fun real life fact, if a pet is suffering from lice, it is always suffering from an underlying condition. So... And it's also the same if you're an adult. If you're a person and you have lice, it's like, you're not well because they only show up when you're not feeling well. Sorry, I interrupted you to talk about the hell. Yeah, basically, like a lot of, and it's like bacterial infections and stuff like that. Yes, Richie, social groups cannot prosper because no money is invested there. Yeah, no, that's 100% the case.
Yeah, and hopelessness draws to it these bad spirits,
exactly,
and you end up with this sort of negative spiral that drives the neighbourhood down quicker than it would do normally, so you get this high-speed advanced decay.
And it's definitely a self-perpetuating cycle, because especially in like a superhero world, like if there are demons there and the neighbourhood is rough, then people are not going to want to go there, so the demons prosper more because no one's going to help, and it's that whole negative, well, as I said, a self-perpetuating cycle.
What is the primary source of crime in the neighbourhood? Now, the suggestions are gang violence, organised crime, and superpowered criminals. But I think gang violence is probably the closest, but it's sort of supernaturally tainted gang violence.
Okay, interesting. To me, a lot of them are just kind of the same. They kind of overlap a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think the sort of separation that they're looking for here is gang violence is sort of youth
scale,
crime.
Yeah.
It's youth crime and more knife crime. Organised crime is specifically a syndicated group of bad guys who have got a monopoly on the area and taken it over. And then your super criminals is, one or more
Yeah.
super criminals that could potentially fit into one of the other lines as well.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's the benefit of this kind of whole world building, is that these are all mutable. They can all be changed or moved around to suit the needs of the world.
So I think with some of these supernatural parasites, instead of just like bonding to and absorbing strength from their hosts, they're giving some strength to their hosts, which strengthens them, which makes the area rougher, which makes them stronger in the long run. So it's your smart parasite just goes there and it sucks the life out of people, and your more intelligent, more advanced parasite goes there and it sets up this sort of symbiotic.
Yeah,
look at
symbiotes,
that. Perfect timing, Beowulf. Just as I was saying, symbiotes.
A lot of parasites will pass on illnesses, but that's not their goal. The illness is taking advantage of the parasites. So the classic one being like getting Lyme disease from a tick. The tick doesn't want you to get Lyme disease. You're its meal ticket, but the Lyme disease is like, haha.
Malaria and mosquitoes. Mosquitoes don't want you to have malaria because they want your tasty, tasty estrogen-rich blood.
Exactly. But that's how nature works.
Yeah.
That's a good way of looking at it. Oh god, that'd be terrible. It's like, okay, you have a demon and you have something that's like a demon, but worse. Oh, yes. So sorry about that. Can you deal with them? Fuck no. No. No, I'm a GP. This is a demon.
Chav symbiotes. Yeah, never mind Venom and Carnage. It's like thuggery and punching stuff. Breaking and entering. How do the city's authorities treat the neighbourhood? Avoidance, corruption, over-policing, present but powerless, private contractors.
Ooh.
I don't think private contractors is a good fit.
No, because then I think it has to be something that, logically speaking, because obviously there's the argument, the plot hole, which for those wondering, plot holes don't matter, but the plot hole would be, why doesn't it just spread to the entire city and then subsequently the whole world? So it has to be something that's containable.
Yeah.
So maybe
one of the options is corruption. So maybe when the police get assigned to that area, they end up being corrupted by it as well and become effectively just another gang in that area.
Yeah. Or just go, oh yeah, no, we'll go down there, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna take money and we'll leave you alone and you can just do whatever crazy shit you're doing here. Because obviously, again, coming back to that parasitism thing, parasites don't want to be noticed. So if they're turning a blind eye through that corruption, it's like, yeah, no, we don't tell any supers we're here, and you get paid, and you know, maybe we'll give you some superpowers. Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, don't tell them about all the bad things that happen to them. What? Nothing. You'll be fine.
Yeah, we're cracking down on violent crime. Oh, how are you doing that? Well, we're conducting violent crime.
Exactly, and we're using the thing that's creating the rundown. Oh, right.
So let's go for police avoidance from on high, and they use it as like a dumping ground for officers that are an embarrassment in other areas. So you're sending your worst officers there, and when they get there, they get worse.
Yeah, exactly.
So the police are sort of avoiding the area. They're underfunded. They've not got much by way of resources. People who get sent there, it's the end of their career. It's like, congratulations, you done screwed up.
Well, it's also a good way of getting rid of, like, you know, like accidents and stuff. So it's like, oh well, this guy doesn't look good in the public eye. Okay, we're just gonna put him over here and problem solved. Chief, I don't think that solved the problem.
Everybody knows Southdown is a crime area.
Dude, we're not here to solve problems. We're here to look good. What the fuck you...
Denzel Washington type from Training Day being able to have a lot of influence in the area. I haven't seen Training Day. Is he a good cop in a bad precinct, or is he a very bad cop in a very bad precinct?
It's not... No, not great. I definitely get where you're coming from, Bubble Reg. Yeah. I'm definitely getting that kind of vibe from it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a he's a corrupt, and it's like corrupt in like, oh god kind of way.
Okay.
If memory serves. Yeah.
Denzel Washington plays corrupted characters really well. What's that film where he gets possessed by a demon?
Oh god.
And the whole thing is the story about the demon jumping from body to body, and then you only find out at the very end that he's possessed by it.
Well, a river's interesting.
Yes, so it could be next to the river.
Yeah.
Southdown is the south side of the city up against the river, so it's not able to get past the river. Fallen. Thanks, Bubble Reg.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, and also industrial areas often did run next to rivers, so they could put all the effluents from the factory into the rivers.
Yeah.
And also for powering the machinery, but mostly the effluents part.
And then it's possible that the heroes thus far have been able to contain the evil. Oh, it could be an island. Yeah, Southdown could be like a little island that was an industrial area, so there are bridges that cross over into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the island itself is like an almost autonomous part of the city. It doesn't even have to be a very big island, big river. It could literally be a stream of water that wide, but because of some supernatural reason, that's enough to stop the thing
evil
from getting
things
out.
Can't cross running water. Yeah.
Which is why they were hoping the industrialness would pollute the water, slow it down to sludge, and then they'd have been able to spread. But now the industrial's gone, they're trapped on the island in their own little spiral.
Yeah, or the boss who sent them was equally corrupt in Demon Land and went, oh yeah, no, you'll be able to spread, you'll destroy this whole world. Yes! And it's like they send them down, it's like, oh, motherfucker. Well, we'll go back through and they've closed the portal. Great.
Yeah, there we go. So we got can't cross running water. We've got our Bane Spirit. I'm going to make a note of Bane Spirits. I mean, I know I shouldn't because that's cheeky.
Why?
Oh no, I got supernaturally tainted gang violence.
It's very cool. Do they wear those funny helmets? I'm not sure what that's in reference to, Beowulf. I presume that's in reference to the police, and it's kind of a Judge Dredd reference, but I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't see the funny helmets remark. Where's that on?
That's after Bubble Reg mentioned training data, Denzel Washington type from training data.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I'm assuming that's in relation. Oh, Attack the Block is also a good suggestion.
I really hated Attack the Block. I did not get on with it. Yeah, I think at the time it's because I was working in a school where all the kids talked like that all the time.
Right. Okay.
And they were doing it to make themselves look hard, rather than because they actually spoke like that.
It does feel. I feel like a lot of films, but they kind of tried to get that focus. It can feel quite classist, but I don't know. I kind of liked it because I think it did try to humanize the characters. I think a more schlocky and less polite. Well, it wasn't exactly a polite film, but you know what I mean. Like a lesser film would have just made them like people you dislike and hope die. But in that film, it was like, no, they're kids. Why do you want to see children die, you horrible person? You want to see them live. Here's why. And you're like, really lovely kids.
Okie dokie. So that takes us a big jump because we're going to skip past some of the other bits because there's some bits that I think are probably more Matt's bailiwick than mine.
Of course,
his bits. There's also some bits that we can always come back to another time. I'm going to jump straight ahead. So we did, following that, we've already looked at the Nether Realm, which is the Shriven Realm, which is a jagged hellscape of eternal night, and we know there are monsters there. We know there are parasites in the parallel dimension called Other there, which is a shadowy reflection mirror world. So potentially those parasites from the parallel dimension travelling through the Shriven Realm end up getting corrupted and popping out in Southdown.
If it's a mirror world, perhaps their way, like, because obviously we gain sustenance from like eating and living and stuff like that. So maybe that's a potential like way that you could frame it. Like, well, they need to live off us because like when they come here, like I don't know. Apologies. That's kind of
that's one of the best conversations I ever had as a vampire. When you quote Deacon Frost from Blade.
Oh right, okay.
These people are our food. So we did the Forgotten City of Far Morgana, which is a
Yes.
sort of Atlantean, British, ancient Celtic
Yeah.
fusion
Yeah.
sort of place where everybody's a degenerate, vampiric, diseased monster.
Yeah.
We talked about our mystic order, the ancient and hallowed order of the Shrouded Moon. And we're on to the Mega Corporation.
Yes. Okay, this will be
SE15.
interesting.
So I think our Mega Corporation is looking at being the opposite to our benevolent
Yeah.
business.
Yes.
And you know, I might even take our benevolent business out of the blade
Okay, interesting.
and then hand the blade over almost entirely to the bad guys. So they're not going to be based in the blade, they're going to be based in the vertical gardens.
Ooh, okay, yeah, kind of feeling that like
Biotech,
biotech, clean
futurist,
energy, futurist,
green
yeah.
energy, clean energy,
City
which
forests.
means that we can then hand over to our Mega Corporation.
They are just bastards. Just the worst.
Yep, and they are located in the blade.
No, not Garblag Inc. How dare you? We're much worse than
Godleg
the
Inc. are
Super Company.
entirely benevolent,
Of
and
course.
once you hand all of your media over to us, we will enter a halcyon golden age in which you'll be able to watch streams of us 24/7, and there will be no
Mandatory.
propaganda.
No propaganda. I'm trying to think what propaganda we would have.
Like pictures
Iron
of
Brew
Pete
is
on a
great.
red background looking strong.
Yeah.
Role playing will set you free. That kind
Oh
of thing.
god, yes, so many bastard megacorps to get
It's yeah, I
inspired
mean,
from.
Megacorps are the bastards, aren't they? So,
Yeah.
examples that we've got here: Alchemax, Hammer Industries, Oscorp,
Oh,
Roxxon
Hammer.
from Marvel, Ace Chemicals, LexCorp, and Wayne Powers from DC.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Wayne
So,
Power- oh right, yeah.
we need a name for our Megacorp,
We do.
but let's think about what drives them first, because then you can sometimes backfill a name by
Good
Musakula.
vibes. Hey man, we're good vibes. You're gonna feel good here. Put these tubes in your arm. Whoa, why is that? It's good vibes. Yeah, come on, man.
So, what is the primary source of this company's income? Is it chemicals, weapons, computers, or biotech?
Well, ooh.
I don't like biotech because the good guys
No.
are doing that already. So it's
Yeah,
nice to
and-
have an opposition to that.
Yeah, computers maybe, but I don't know. Do we want to make them like, oh, we want to get in that rift? Like that place looks awesome because we want to exploit that, or do we want to keep them also detached from the rift?
I don't mind. I think they could be a mix of both. They can be predominantly detached from the rift, but have like some kind of weird inner circle cult
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like,
like they
Wolfram
were.
and Hart.
Yeah, so they were already like, super evil
Yeah.
and super corrupt. But when the rift showed up, they thought, well, let's do some fucked up shit. Umbrella Corp. I have a feeling that one's taken on Amici.
So we're going to go with weapons and computers
or
as their
close enough.
income source.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, weapons make sense.
What unethical practices does the company routinely
God.
employ?
We only have to pick one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 to choose from. And a
you want
box
me
for
to-
other in case you can think of another unethical thing
Well,
they
I
might
could roll
do.
I could roll a D8, and then if we get on the 8, we can
We
just
can
pick
put 2
one.
in.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'll try. All right, okay. Okay, right. Oh, 5. 5 is good though. hopefully.
Unethical invention.
Well, they are weapons,
Yeah.
so there's a whole
R&D
host.
departments pursue inventions and discoveries that violate laws and ethical standards.
My words, that's I have to admit that is kind of like a beautiful thing to fall onto our lap there.
And I'm
Where to
liking the sort
begin?
of the pain stick / ISO cube model.
Oh, definitely. This is definitely.
Beowulf, come on. England has weapon manufacturers. Yes, of course we do. We have very competent weapons manufacturers. Just we only ever sell to horrible third world dictators.
Yep.
Why on earth would we keep them in our
No.
own country?
Ben, I think you've mispronounced that. It's viable business deals.
Yes, sorry,
that's
my
what
bad.
they are.
Viable
yes,
business dealerships.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm laughing, but I'm also there's a small part.
We
of me
are
that's like, oh
horrified
God, this
at
is
the same time.
this is
by-
real. Well, I mean, the list is. So what do you want to say? Do you want to say that in a kind of reverse way, the company keeps getting caught selling shit that they know, everyone knows that they should not be selling to anyone.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. Oh,
they-
illegal sales. There we go. We'll have that as well.
They have a means of just kind of doing a legal, well, you know, who's to say? We'll just outbuy you, people. Yep. Nice. Evil Corp. Omnicorp. So I'm just now reading some of the checks.
I
Smile
feel
Corp is
that
funny.
poor Millie has said Pendragon like 5 or 6 times now and has been
We'll get
overlooked
Pendragon.
with her Pendragon. But I kind of don't want to put a Pendragon on the bad guys. So we can develop on the Pendragon.
Oh, sorry.
We're buying fully. Should we go for Mordred?
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. My joke's really shit. It's a really bad pun. I'm
Go
not
on,
going
do
to say
it.
it now.
Do it. Do it.
I'm not really a Pendragon. I'm more of like a quill dragon or a pencil dragon. Yes.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was bad.
Look, our viewing numbers just dropped by 8.
Yep. Morrigan.
Morrigan.
He was
Nice.
like, I cannot let Arthur find that I've resurrected at the same time as him. I need to change my name. Hello there, I'm Mordred. Yes, this is perfect. You won't see it.
No one will ever see through that.
Mordred. Yes, instead of
But
an
you know,
E,
we
it's a
can
U.
take a whole Arthurian lean on this anyway because it is Eldritch. So we can have a full-on Arthur thing. Has anybody read the Pendragon comics? Because that did this whole thing.
Wow, Millie, immediately, all of them, I love it, all caps. Okay, I'm excited now. We do have to have a lot of Arthurian legends and a lot of Fae. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because they are.
The
like
Pendragon comics were
Celtic thing.
awesome. It was a British superhero thing based on Arthur and his knights being reborn into the modern world.
Interesting. Okay.
But like Sir Gawain is reborn into the being of a washed-up ex-cop who was like a fat, boozy sellout.
Really? Okay.
And as the comics progress, he gradually gets buffer and buffer and somehow younger, and his bald spot grows out, and he becomes like this huge, hulking, massive, red-bearded hero warrior, and changes throughout. It's a fantastic comic. And the bad guys in that were very much a Mordred type corporation.
Yeah. And I definitely feel like, because I think I've said this before, when it comes to world building, you never want to create something that makes the person stop and question the logic, because you are never going to make a world that's removed from, like, as I said, plot holes don't matter. Because if the world's fun, people are just going to go, oh, this is fun, I don't have to think about it. And having like references to Arthurian legends, people go, oh, right, he's related to Mordred. That's a bad guy. All right, got it. Gotcha. And if it's like, yeah, this is King Arthur, it's like, oh, gotcha, good guy. Okay.
So I like it. I like Mordred, I like Mordred Arms, and I like Mordred Arms Design, because then the acronym is MAD.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. I like
that. And
that.
it sounds like an evil mega corporation then, isn't it? How will our heroes overcome the forces of MAD?
And it's, mutual assured destruction is also MAD.
Absolutely, another acronym for it. How does the company avoid prosecution and disbanding?
Well, I think because we said they just basically outbuy people.
There is a D4 that we can throw at that.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Give me one moment. That's a 4.
Blackmail of influential people.
Wonderful, yeah. They would literally be mad scientists. Yes, that's awesome.
Yes.
They are actually mad scientists. Oh, I want to say that we were smart enough to think of that, but we did not.
What is the company's security force like?
Ooh,
Paramilitary enforcers, agents in black suits, robotic drones, or powered or enhanced guards?
Do you want me to roll again, or do we think?
I think we can pick those ones, because I want paramilitary enforcers and enhanced guards.
Makes sense, yeah. The robotics doesn't really work, because if they're... it doesn't really work. And the... Yeah, okay, I like that, yeah. Another situation is like, those guys don't work for us. They have your logo on them. 80% of them said they work for you. Well, that 20% doesn't seem to be that talkative. That's because you have their families hostage. Well, I mean, who's to say? The facts are very fluid.
The British people have had enough of experts.
Exactly.
So there we go. That is such an evil corporation. I mean, seriously, that's twirling mustachio cartoon evil.
Yeah. We sell weapons to anyone. How does that work
the government
economically?
Says we can.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it works economically. It's evil.
It's British made.
It's British made. Yes. We are evil.
Perfect. Love it. So, the mega corporation is Mordred Arms Design. Nice. And yeah, good. Millie, you win. We're going to pepper this with Arthurian mythology and magic.
But we're already peppering this with tons of British references. Arthurian is just inevitable.
Right, now we've got another alternate dimension that we can throw at things. SE16.
Okay. So this is the mirror one? Because the one before was like a hellscape monster.
We've got, in terms of alternate realities,
okay,
we already have the Nether Realm, which is our hell.
Okay, right, yeah. Okay.
So we've got that one. That's in the bag. Then we've also got the parallel dimension, which is our sort of shadowy reflection, spirit world,
so
mirror world.
It's like what's the one opposite Batman and stuff like that, like the one where
not
it's
quite.
Like,
no, it's not. It's not Nega World or Bizarro World.
What's the one with Owlman, where they're all villains instead of them being heroes? Is that different? There's a lot of dimensions. It's hard to keep track.
A lot of dimensions. The Black Knight, Batman, but British. Nice. So we've got parallel dimension, we've got a hell dimension. What we're looking for now is an alternate reality. So, hang on, I've lost my alternate reality. First appearance, TBD. Suggestions. Yeah. A parallel universe similar to the prime reality but with a divergent history. Oh, it's House of M, Age of Apocalypse, Earth 2 type stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, oh, what if all the heroes were villains? What if everything was old-timey? What if everything was old-timey but a different period in history old-timey? And then just do 20 of them.
Anybody read The Authority?
I have, yes.
Sliding Albion.
Oh!
It's a modern-day game, Beowulf. Okay, so in the Authority comics, in Warren Ellis's run, the Authority are ridiculously high-level supers. They've gone extra governmental. They've kind of struck out on their own. They've been government stooges for long enough, and they're fed up with it. And they just are insanely powerful. Their leader is the spirit of the 20th century. She lives for the entire century and is full-on electricity powered. You've got your knockoff Batman and Superman, the Midnighter and Apollo. Only they're a gay couple. And they too have the Midnighter's power is he wins fights.
Yep.
And Apollo's power is he's solar powered and just soaks up sunlight and can redirect it stuff. So they've all got these incredibly high level powers.
Yeah, it is basically like, oh no, you can't win. What do you mean I can't win? No, literally
I have played this fight
power
over a million different ways before we actually moved.
Sorry,
I've already beaten you.
Yeah. Really, you should just surrender. Oh.
But there's a there's an alternate dimension in there called Sliding Albion, and in it, aliens come to Earth during the Renaissance, and they hook up with the Italians and then with the British, and then end up kind of dominating the globe, setting up these totalitarian city-states and horrendous work camps everywhere, and they're really horribly evil. And once they've plundered all of the resources of their Earth, they work out how to slide between realities. Yes. And they go raiding other ones.
Kind of like I think this isn't the recent thing Invincible. There's bad guys in there that do the same thing. It's like, yeah, we just go to other dimensions and take over.
And
it's like,
stuff. Yeah.
So
I like something like that. I fancy an evil alternate dimension
where they're just like, why are you invading? Because we like invading people and killing and fighting. Oh shit, we were gonna hope for diplomacy. Nope. just gonna fight you.
So I think we look at an alternate dimension where our lost city was rediscovered by explorers, and all that vampiric nastiness and evil broke out.
And
has conquered Britain and turned it into this sort of dark, cloudy, industrial place.
I also love the idea, just like the subtle notion of like, oh yeah, no, in every reality, the city falls, and I just love the idea that when they invade Newman, they're like, we're really shit at like not falling into oblivion. There's got to be one reality statistically. We've got to find one where we don't fall into obscurity and have to be rediscovered.
15 million different realities.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, we took over in this one. Hey, no, we didn't. We didn't win.
So I think we might go the gap. That's terrible.
We are gonna, we need to be careful we don't turn this into like just puns, the game.
So I think we might call it Dark Albion.
Yeah. No, being a vampiric mutant creature is great. Is it? Yes. Now come close so I can eat you. Oh, whoa.
So at what point did this diverge from reality? That's a major, a catastrophic event.
Oh, okay. So I thought we were like, okay.
/ world event. Lost city found by non-powered supers. By non-powered explorers. Get your words right, Crossley.
Do you think they would have had superpowers in their world as well? And
they don't. But what they've got now is they've got the powers from that city and the vampirism, and it's bonded with the parasites that have come through from the hell dimension.
Question, because I am interested in your response, and also interested in chats. How do you feel about when there are other dimensions, but they have other versions of characters?
Absolutely.
Because there's a part of me, I quite enjoy that, largely because it is just the writer going, look, we can't have one character go through everything, so we create other characters who are 99% the same, except for one thing, and that's the one thing we wanted to explore.
Oh, I thought you meant like evil opposites.
Well, that as well. That's one angle to it. It's like, what if Batman was a bad guy? What if Superman was a bad guy? But there's like tons of stuff that it's quite clear. It's just like, look, we wanted to draw pigs that could shoot webs. Okay, so that's how we have Spider-Ham. That's all we wanted. All right, and we got what we wanted, and you thought it was funny, so everyone wins. All right.
Spider-Ham, a pig that was a spider that was bitten by a pig.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. I like nega versions of heroes. So you've got like Through a Glass Darkly, where the heroes become the villains.
Exactly.
And maybe some of the villains become the heroes.
And it's the kind of parallel story where it's like the story that made our heroes happened in a kind of reverse way to them, but it's how they became like the big bads of their world. So it's like, my parents were killed. It's like, oh no, I killed my parents. It's like, oh, yikes. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually an alien that came down to this world, and I set out to protect it. I'm an alien that came down to this world, and I wanted to fucking conquer it. It's like, oh, okay.
Superman versus Brightburn.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Gosh, that film. Superhero horror is definitely a very niche genre. That's always fun showing to people. It's like, oh, it's a superhero story. Oh, it's a superhero story. Yeah, it's horror superheroes.
And you could have it so that you've still got like a vampiric Queen Victoria ruling Britain with superpowers and commanding her generals to go forth into other realities through these weak points like the dimensional rift and cause havoc. It may not even come up in game. It's totally coming up in game. But it might not come up in season 1 because Dark Albion is going to be a fairly major threat.
Well, yeah, as I said, the reason writers do this is to explore ideas that would just not work with your existing character. And having, Vampire Queen Vic is definitely a statement. It's it helps. So with the evil angle, it shows like, yeah, these characters could have gone down bad paths. It's what makes them heroes, because we know that they wouldn't have gone evil.
Safino, what on earth makes you think that I'm suggesting that aristocrats are blood-sucking parasites?
Yeah, we're not suggesting, we're outright stating it.
Eat the rich. In a world filled with shades of grey, the only way for Earth to have a hero is for Dark Albion to gain a villain.
Oh.
And maybe that's partly what the origin is for our supernatural heroes. It's a cosmic attempt to balance the scales, because they know that Dark Albion is heading this way. It's conquering reality after reality and growing stronger. And so they need superheroes to beat this army of low-powered vampire mutant beasties.
What if it's like a kind of interdimensional like diffusion? So as this empire grows bigger and bigger, the next worlds they're about to conquer get stronger, because they're basically like pushing
like in the one with Jet Li. Have you seen that?
No, I've not.
It's a multiverse thing. It talks about the multiverse theory, and there are like 144 identified multiverse worlds that are all mirror Earths, and every person that lives in one lives in all of the others as well. And the main villain of the film is Jet Li's character, and the main hero of the film is Jet Li's character. The villain has been going from reality to reality, killing the alternate reality versions of himself, and every time he does, that character's energy is split between all the ones that are left. And the more of them he kills, the stronger all of the others are getting, until it's just the two of them left at the end.
Right, okay, that's interesting.
It's a fantastic story. It's really brilliant. And Jet Li does this amazing physical acting in it, where he's playing these two characters with vastly different martial arts styles. And he expresses in all of his physical movements. So the villain moves in straight lines. It goes from A to B, and he goes through obstacles. And the hero moves like water and goes sort of around in this sort of circular motion. And the two of them have this big old Barney punch-up that's really cool.
I feel like there was a comic series, I want to say, that had a similar concept where it's like powers came to Earth, they made the superheroes, but there's like a finite number. So when one superhero dies, the same thing happens. They all slightly get more powerful because the energy is siphoned off from then. So one of the main plot
it is called The One, and the comic book that Nye is talking about is called Rising Stars by JMS, John Michael Straczynski, who wrote Babylon 5 as well. And if you don't have that, I strongly recommend that as well. It's a big meaty chunk of comic, but it's a closed loop, and once you've read it, you've got
Highlander.
The whole thing.
Yeah, there's an
Highlander does the same thing, shared out energy amongst the set.
And we're very much like Highlander because we have someone with a terrible Scottish accent.
What's a haggis?
Wait, I'm not going to go off. I've gotten this tangent off screen so many times. I'm not going to go down it again.
Well, you have a problem with the Scottishman playing the Egyptian Spaniard and the Frenchman playing the Scotsman. That's the. It's funny the first time you watch it, and afterwards you can't like go back. You're just like, why? But at least it wasn't Highlander 2, where they all turned out to be aliens from the planet Zeist.
Yeah. The continuity of that film series is rather strange.
So let's make a sequel. Let's give it to a guy with a huge bag of cocaine and no grip on reality.
And then they made 3 and 4. Yeah, it's just a mess.
3 isn't actually that bad. If you watch 3 as a sequel to 1, it's not as good, but it fits. It doesn't fit anything after 2, because after 2 you can't trust them anymore. And 4 was basically, we want to make a TV series, here's how we're going to do it. So.
Exactly.
Okay, on to the next big thing then. The Pariahs, which are totally not the X-Men. In no way, shape or form.
No.
A group of people who possess superpowers but are shunned or discriminated against by society at large. The Pariahs are much like an ethnic group and share the same origin for their powers, even if the individual powers vary wildly. Examples from popular comics include mutants and Inhumans from Marvel and the Homo Magi from DC.
Yes, which are... Oh no, they're magicians. They're magicians. That's like what Zatanna is supposed to be.
Oh, is she?
And stuff like that. Yeah. It's. I mean, it kind of just the wildcard universe, I think, is a better interpretation of that trope.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense. It's completely, it feels more fair to me. I always felt like the argument. Oh, mole people also is a good example.
Wildcards is great, but it has a number of fairly hefty yikes moments.
It does. I'm totally agree.
I
with
know
that
it's
notion.
a product of its time, but it's really a product of its time.
I speak entirely of the notion of the idea of a virus that infects everybody, and there's a
the core concept is very, very sound.
Yes. Because the thing I think is funny with DC is they have metahumans, and you're like, so mutants. It's like, no, they're metahumans. It's completely different. So mutants. No, it's to do with their DNA. So okay, fine, it's mutants. We just wanted to have mutants. I don't think that's a bad thing, is it? No, it's quite all right. Just be honest. Well, that's an interesting question. And I'm not familiar myself. Okay, I didn't know they were going to be linked. Cool.
Yes. So the question that's come up in chat for anybody who's watching us later on YouTube, will this have to link with the North American game? Yes. Matt and I are sharing out the universe. So North American Garblag are going to be covering 2 of the 4. I'm going to cover 2 of the 4. Yeah. And the aim is to sort of bring them all together into one sort of coherent shared universe. One of the things we want to do on the Discord is start linking things together. To allow for that, there will be the scope to have more than one group of pariahs. So if I go with mutants, which I probably won't because we're trolling off down our Arthurian thing, so I'm more likely to take an Inhumans route.
Well, yeah, you could... Oh, sorry, continue.
And then, actually, there's one here for supernatural ancestry.
Could do like changelings or whatever the terminology you want to use. Basically, like, one of my ancestors got freaky with something from another world. Well, in this case, the other. And it's like,
so we can absolutely make it change. Okay, we're getting some strong votes for changelings right there. Loving the changelings from chat.
It's also very British, so I like that. Also, I always think that people overthink these things. It's like with D&D, where it's like, this is how tieflings were made. It's like, oh, come on. We all know how tieflings were made. When a demon and a human love each other very much.
I am, however, going to spell it deliberately wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm going to spell it Changelins with a J and no G on the end.
Yeah.
It's totally changelings.
Look, we need to be careful for copyright, because I swear to God, if a 1st century druid says that we stole his do not steal character, we're going to be in trouble. I don't know how old Celtic mythos is. I know it's old though. Oh, that's an interesting one. Refugees from Dark Albion. I feel though that could work, I guess, because you would if it was kind of a thing, but I don't know. It's an interesting one.
So I don't want to make them refugees from Dark Albion, because I don't want to tie everything into one really, really tight mesh. I want it to be kind of an open, more sandboxy, open world, chance for this universe to have that universe to have that, and for us to be able to pull on lots of different threads. If people don't hook up with the Dark Albion vibe and don't really enjoy it, then we've got other threads we can follow instead.
I think the other way with that is... well, yeah, that's true. And to be fair, sorry, I'm reading chat, and someone's pointing out to me, Air Baratus is pointing out to me that it...
Eggle. Hi, Eggle.
Sorry, Eggle. Sorry, I don't know everyone's usernames.
We're not going back to the Mutant Year Zero thing where you got people's names wrong every single session.
I'm not good with names. I do apologize. It makes sense. I don't know. I mean, the Romans were the one everything we know about the Druids comes from the Romans, who, shocker, didn't really like them that much. So probably what we do know about them is false. I'm just bad with names.
So we're looking at a supernatural ancestry.
Yeah.
So possibly linked to the lost civilization or something like that. I like a Fey ancestry.
Yeah, because as we all know, fair hot, so
Yep.
it's not difficult
and it's
for
British, so we can bring in some of that
Yeah.
British mythology.
Of course, yeah.
So they were like another race that developed along the same time as humans, but kind
Yeah.
of went off into their own realm after a while
Exactly.
because they don't get on with technology particularly well.
They saw, oh god, these guys are making fire. Fuck this. We're out of here. Oh, they're making tools now. This is yes, that I've heard that terminology used as well. That's no, Beowulf, it's not only Irish, it's a Scottish thing as well. Although obviously
Sean Bean, she.
yeah. Luddites, yes. Fey Luddites. We don't like this
Egil,
iron.
that's an interesting concept. You have superpowers because your children will have superpowers, and that gives you reverse time. Ooh.
They for anyone wondering, if you're watching at home, Beowulf's asking if Scott is Sith, or I can never say the word because it's Gaelic, is Scots. It is, but Gaelic and Gaelic overlap in a lot of regards because there was a lot of interchange culturally between Scotland and Ireland at the point in history where this is occurring. So I've seen a lot of spellings of that. I can't say the words as properly though because I'm absolutely abysmal at Gaelic.
So we're looking at maybe some similar powers for them. How do they blend into humanity? Some of them just look human. Do they have shape-shifting? Do they use disguise and deception? I want there to be a sort of an element of like antlers to them a lot of the time.
Ooh, yeah, I do like that. There's
so I think like a
sorry.
deception thing, like an illusion-based thing, but some of them are better at it than others.
Don't changelings have marks? I might be misremembering the mythos here, but I'm pretty sure changelings have, like, if you find a baby and it has this mark on it, it's a changeling. Because for those wondering, changelings in actual mythology are supposed to be swapped babies, which we're not going to do because that'd be, like, super sad. But, yeah, okay. Apparently there's a Scottish version of werewolves who go around giving people fish. Is that true? Yes. I cannot remember their names, but yeah, they're adorable. They don't actually do werewolf stuff. They just give people shit. I need to look up their names.
Loving the idea of like tazzing up into like a 9-foot tall Krynos killing machine werewolf, and then knocking on someone's door and going, "I brought you this fish."
Let me see. Oh, Ash. Yeah, Asher Dales was in caps on Nightbot. The ruthless Nightbot said, "No caps here."
So yeah, we're looking at glamour-based powers, some kind of supernatural shape-shifting disguise thing. We can let some of them have like variations on a theme, so the odd energy blast and the odd super strength and super toughness. But in general, their powers are all going to relate around some kind of shape-shifting and disguise-based thing.
Yeah, like, okay.
Why do baseline humans fear them?
Oh, that is a good question.
Do they fear being replaced? Probably not. Do they fear their uncontrolled powers? Probably not. Do they fear subjugation by the powers that they do possess? Do they fear baby stealing?
See, I think that's definitely what they think it is. It's like, yeah, you gotta be careful. Those guys, because they draw on the mythos, and it's like, no, we're just regular people like you guys.
We didn't even do that in medieval times. People just said we did because they didn't like us.
Yeah. And who said that? It was the church, shit like that.
So baselines fear them because of being replaced and maybe having their face stolen.
I really like that one. When do baseline humans need any reason to fear anything?
You're not wrong. Yeah. They fear them because the sun tells them to. And Millie has already been replaced by one.
But I think that's a good way of framing it, because I always feel like we talked about this at great length before, but like it sucks when you try and put in a race That's nope. They're just evil. There is no machination. There is no morality to it. They're just evil for the sake of it. So
Well, I think
like
that's because people don't want to confront the fact that the most evil race that you've got in a lot of fantasy settings is actually the humans.
Yeah, and the reasons they do it are things that we did in history and are continued doing today. And
Yeah,
it's bad.
historically we are quite simple creatures. I can tell, Millie. I can see through your glamour.
But I think that's a good way of looking at it. Like, oh yeah, they have all these rumors. They're based on like myths that were created of rumors of that time. I like that as kind of a notion.
And what level of prejudice do these pariahs face? Is it casual bigotry, shunned and segregated, persecution, or outlawed? I think we've probably stepped down from outlawry and segregation, but casual bigotry and persecution depending on the person.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And also because it definitely comes off like, as we talked about, some people might not be as good with their glamours, so there are perhaps those that, you know, can use glamours better than others.
So there are some that can blend in completely, like with the X-Men. There are some that can blend in completely with humanity, and then there are some who have got antlers and cloven hooves and find it really difficult to hide them. Yeah, that guy's really tall, isn't he? Yes, he's actually a 9-foot tall troll man. The fact that all you're seeing is a tall chap shows that he's actually working very well on his glamours. That guy has antlers.
How long have they been common knowledge in the world? Well, presumably whenever the fallen city was not fallen, or I guess it's an interesting question.
I think they probably would have fallen out of common knowledge in the Middle Ages, but returned to common knowledge recently, almost with a bit of a Shadowrun vibe, with a sudden shift. So possibly something to do with the dimensional rift, something to do with the arrival of supers has triggered the latent Fey genetics in a whole bunch of people. And like in Shadowrun with goblinization,
kind of in the same way that like we used to talk about, like, hey, you know, Robin Hood and King Arthur and Macbeth were not real people, and it's like, well, no, there was, like, now we're aware enough to know, no, there probably was people like them. They're not the fantasy that we once thought, but they did exist in some fashion or another. It's like, yeah, the changelings did exist and they do exist, but they're not these fantastical monsters of old. They're just people.
Now in Changeling, the Dreaming, the role-playing game, the changelings faded out. They went away and they hid. And then when humans went back to the moon in 1969, everybody went, "Whoa, the moon!"
Is that?
And and they all reappeared. They came back. They opened the gates to Arcadia and flooded back to Earth.
That's Old World, isn't it? Because
that's Old World of Darkness.
New World is like really dark.
Yeah, a chat has got the idea. Babies start suddenly being born as changelings, helping to give rise to the baby stealing and swapping stereotype. Exactly. Carnival Row vibes. So yeah, we got Victorian fairies. I'm liking it. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
They recently returned because of a reason. Nobody's entirely sure what it is. That could potentially be a whole line of investigation for finding out what's going on. Right, excellent. That's the pariahs. And to go hand in hand with the pariahs then, we've also got SE24, the Pariah Experiments. Definitely not the Weapon X program. Oh wait, no. Examples include the Weapon X program.
Well, that just streamlines things, doesn't it?
So, we're going to need to think of a name for this program. It's got to be Operation something, I think.
Of course, naturally.
Now, there are rules about how the British name operations and stuff. There's a set series of like codes and names and indicators that suggest what they're for, I believe.
Let me just, I'll Google. now I might be off base here, but I remember at least hearing once the operations were also equally just random though, as well. That was
Okay.
like, yeah, we didn't want to, well, because they don't want to reveal it.
Yeah.
So like sometimes, but I'll just double check. Naming convention, naming conventions, then hopefully they're gonna be British.
Operation Black Dog. That's got some mileage actually. I quite like that, Norman.
Yeah.
Operation, because there's the whole Fey Black Dog thing, isn't there? Iron, something to do with iron.
Oh yeah, that actually works.
It's got to
very
have
well,
Operation Iron something.
Iron, Operation Cold Steel. I guess that's not really iron, that's steel. Never mind.
Plus, if we go that far, then we're edging closer to blue steel and people just going...
Oh shit, yeah, sorry.
There we go. Operation Iron Barguest.
Interesting. Okay, so from what I'm getting, yeah, it doesn't seem to be anything super specific, so I think we can just, yeah. Oh, that was it. Yeah, so British and American codes were always not trying to reveal what the thing was their yeah, I think so long as it's misdirection. So if people are like listening to something, if they hear the name, say Operation Pig Iron, which is one of the suggestions, if it wouldn't work if it was like, yes, this is an operation to steal iron. Like, it's like, oh shit, it's kind of obvious what we're doing.
So we're going to go with Operation Iron Barguest.
Oh, there we go. That reminds me of one. The one operation during the Second World War was called Operation Lusty. Do you know what it was? Stealing airplanes, like the aircraft technology of the Axis powers. And you're sitting there going, right, okay.
Can we not talk about operational names during World War II, please? I'm still bitter about my history GCSE.
Oh dear. Oh no.
Final essay, 25% of the total grade.
Oh no.
Asked us to write an essay about Operation Sea Lord.
Oh,
and I wrote an absolutely stonking essay. It was a work of genius. It was brilliant. It was accurate. It was detailed. I even drew maps for Operation Sea Lion.
Yep.
And to make matters worse, one was the British invasion of Germany by sea, and the other was the German invasion of Britain by sea. So I got completely the wrong essay, got no marks for it, despite it being spectacular, and ended up getting a D instead of the B I was predicted. And I am still bitter to this day.
Someone's asking what Operation Sea Lord is. Just realised that
Don't ask me, I got it wrong.
Okay.
So I think the pariah experiments are being run by the government in collusion with MAD.
Oh yeah, that's good. That is really good. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of sense. Sorry, just
because it's nice to have some tiebacks. What is the program's goal? Do they want to produce super soldiers, steal or bestow powers, brainwash, unscrupulous scientific understanding, cloning and replication?
Oh, that's a tough one. There's a lot. There's a lot of really horrible stuff you can do there.
I think the stealing powers thing.
That makes sense. Or the removal as well as another potential. Like that whole, we don't want you guys to have them.
But also they're a perfect example of cloning and replication research because they're stealing, aren't they?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh shit, I realized nobody... to my understanding, sorry for the question that was in the chat, Operation Sea... I'm not familiar with a Sea Space Lord. I'm familiar with Operation Sea Lords. That was a Vietnam thing. I don't know what that would be in relation to. No, I have no idea either. Sea Lion makes far more sense.
Yeah, well, there you go. You know, you can see why I failed.
Yeah.
I wrote about the wrong thing entirely. I'd buy that fairy foundation. Yeah. Foundation created from the skin of changelings.
Oh God.
Nice.
Horrible.
Non-anomaly, another 5 evil points for you. What kind of experiments did they do? Genetic manipulations, cybernetic enhancement, radiation and chemical exposure, or magical exposure? Well, not magic, because mad don't do
Because they're already
magic.
yeah.
So I think genetics...
Oof. Yeah.
Genetic and cybernetic, probably.
Yeah. Definitely.
So there'd potentially be like some cyber fae roaming round.
Well, yeah, because it would also trying to be, if to draw parallels, if loosely, to our friendly Brett. Brett is all about, yeah, we look at this stuff to try and make things for the ordinary person, and they're like, oh no, we look at this stuff to try and make.
We're gonna weaponize this crap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Imagine how powerful Black Ops would be with invisibility, shape-changing, illusions, and mind-reading. Absolutely. A very good point.
That's terrifying. That's fucking terrifying. Lord. Oh boy.
Well, we could try and recruit some super soldiers, or we could make our own.
Yeah.
What did program survivors gain?
Trauma.
Trauma.
Suffering, misery. Oh wait, no, I think this means superpowers. Oh god.
Survivors gain a specific power and an augmented physique. So they've not been successful in being able to transfer all of the powers to a single individual, but maybe out of one Black Ops team, they've been able to transfer a power onto each person. So you might have a shape changer, an invisible guy, but they're not the same person.
Exactly. And they're probably trying to blend the two, and it's like, it's not how we work as people. You can't just put the two of us together.
And the more power they try and dump into one person, the less capable they are of functioning in civilized society.
Well, the less capable they're functioning, they probably just end up killing them or hurting them in really severe ways, just because it's like, you can't just like, yeah, we're not Voltron. That's a very good point. You can't just throw all this stuff into people.
Excellent. So we've also got the Secret Society, SE25, the Committee for the Doctrine of the Faith, which is the Inquisition, now known as the Committee, a group of very wealthy, quasi-religious culture vigilantes. They don't go out and fight crime on the streets. They are trying to wage a culture war against the very existence of non-humans. And they're all politically influential, fantastically wealthy, and live lives above the law.
So bastards, got it.
Bastards, yeah.
I was going to say a much naughtier words, but I steeled myself.
Bastards. So I think we've got two more that we're going to look at today.
Okay.
And that is the Catastrophe and the Sacred Site. The Catastrophe. Something that happened in the recent past that reshaped the physical and societal landscape. Could be the flooding of New York by the Atlanteans, the destruction of Stamford, earthquake that forced the evacuation of Gotham. You do not need to create this entry when you encounter your first reference to it. Create this entry only if something specifically directs you to do so. Aha! So maybe we don't do the Catastrophe.
Oh, okay.
Or Bubble Reg has just said dragon attack. Maybe we do the Catastrophe, and there has been a recent dragon attack on the city.
Yeah. Here be dragons in your fucking living room. Run!
Is it magical? Is it mundane? Is it connected to all the supers that are going around? I like it. Let's get ourselves some Rain of Fire. So, the Dragon Strike. First appearance. Prologue. It's the first thing with an actual date on it. It's just Britain, they're dumb scientists, right? Definitely not.
Okay, guys.
Mordred
right,
Arms Division knew what they were doing, Gandalf.
Here's
they
my
dug
plan.
too deep and too greedily.
Here's my plan, right? Got it. Okay, we take a lizard. I'm loving the idea already. We give them those new like medicine to help people, you know, with nutrients. Okay, yeah, loving it. And we just grow a dragon. Why would we do that, Dave? Well, you see, a dragon, I think, are cool, and because they're cool, people want to see them. It'll make people happy to see them. Dave, yeah, I don't say this often. You're a fucking genius. All right, let's make a fucking dragon. 8 months later, the dragon escaped. Who could have foreseen this?
So, nature of catastrophe. Natural disaster, villainous plot comes to fruition, uncontrolled fire powers, large-scale laboratory accident, magical cosmic incursion. Dragons.
Yeah.
It's a dragon, which is a magical incursion.
Initially it was like, well, what was I gonna say? It's like the dragon's actually really friendly, but like it's a dragon, so it's going like, "Hello, I'm a bit lost. Could you provide some directions?" Everyone's screaming as he's roaring. It's like
this dragon's flying through the streets of London,
yes,
shrieking
hello!
at everybody in Akkadian.
Hello! Yeah. Hey, you there? Sorry, I'm just going to. Hello. Do you know how to get to Albion? I'm sorry. You need to stop screaming. I can't.
What is the most obvious lasting damage? Cover-ups gone.
He left a really bad review on interdimensional travel.
Now it suggests a major landmark is destroyed, but we've only just invented the landmarks. I'd rather not destroy them yet.
Yeah. The bridge,
massive civilian casualties. That's got some mileage. A scarred populace. Ooh, some percentage of the populace was scarred or transformed in some way.
Oh.
A devastated borough. An entire borough or district of the city was almost completely leveled. So many to choose.
Yeah. I can roll if you'd like.
I don't know. We're getting requests for eggs.
Question mark?
You know how Garblag players feel about eggs, non-anomaly.
Yeah. Interdimensional Yelp. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these make sense. Like the scarring is interesting, not in like a actual physical sense, but in kind of like oh, dragons are fucking real. That means something now kind of sense. Like what the fuck? Maybe magic is real.
Well, like
maybe
dragon trauma.
Studying magic.
Could be a thing that loads of people are now getting therapy for. A whole new branch of therapy has opened up, coaching people through dragon trauma.
So that's just PTSD, though. I mean, it's a very specific.
But it's very
PTSD.
specific because remember, dragons quite often have that whole aura of fear thing going on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
It would also set up millennial cultism and things like that.
I mean. Yeah, see, to me, if I saw a dragon, I would be more like, holy shit, if dragons are real, what else is real now? Like, all that shit in the weird magic section that no one takes seriously, maybe that's all real, you know? I feel like, because that's always the thing I think with, like, superheroes that a lot of people forget. It's like, if a superhero showed up, everyone would be like, shit, maybe I can become a superhero. Maybe I should get bitten by spiders and see what happens. Yeah,
people would be like jamming radioactive spiders up their nostrils.
Yeah. They'd be...
So I think the lasting damage is going to be people trying insane things. So almost like a... Yeah.
Or maybe
we drank the blood of the dragon. It's the gift of magic.
Or the dragon... Maybe the dragon brought a bit of this stuff into the world. If you wanted to go down different avenues, the dragon kind of made a big hole when it came through into this reality, and now magic is not like the rift where it's like it's just kind of like, oops, okay, maybe that little spell that somebody wrote that didn't have any meaning now just maybe does a little bit magical. Nothing major, of course.
The dragon coming through has put a little bit of a tear in the dimensional rift, which makes this world more visible to others.
Ooh, okay.
So there's an increase. It's like the Hellmouth opening in Buffy.
Yeah, it's like. I
But we're
just feel
starting
like
to get crazed cults and millenarian thinking. Not
I
millenarian thinking, they're not making hats.
I just feel like I'm being watched. You're not! Go about your daily lives! Did the Rift just say, no, we're not watching? Dave, write that down. They drive in weird cars.
So there we go. What's the political fallout from the catastrophe? Martial law, police state, near anarchy, harsh legislation, civilian unrest, torches and pitchforks, quarantine. I think civilian unrest.
Yeah, because the people are going, dragons are real. Like, we were cool with the superheroes. That made sense. And, like, the Rift, that was a bit weird. But a fucking dragon is a different story altogether, my friends.
Dragon sex cults. No. There are specialist vendors on the internet for that, and you know it.
That's not our place to encroach on someone else's market. Yeah,
so we're getting riots, we're getting protests, and we're getting counter protests as well. All these people going, kill the dragon, and then a whole another protest going, dragons are our friends.
Well, yeah,
because this is 20th century Britain, and no matter what one set of people believes, another set will believe the opposite.
As I said, I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be unusual for people to kind of just look at that situation and go, "Oh, this is fucking awesome," and obviously not recognize that like people lost houses, people died, there was great tragedy because it's a fucking dragon. That's cool, and it's like, yeah, it was cool. It wasn't really cool when it, sat on my house.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty shitty.
So there we go. We've got a dragon. The catastrophe was a freaking dragon, man. Are there going to be more dragons? We've had one dragon, yes, but what about second dragon?
Is the dragon... Oh, that's the question we should ask. Is the dragon still around, or did it go away? Like, did it came in...
I think we'll leave that question hanging. Did the dragon appear, go, and then fly away? Or did the dragon appear and then get shot down by anti-aircraft missiles and slipped away to a private lab, which is also a possibility.
Or it came through the portal, was in for about 20 minutes, came out the other side of another portal and went, fucking hell, that was a night. Oh, jeez, I'm not going through that. Wow, they really were not happy to see me.
Popped out, moved to Wales, said, I'll just settle here, thanks. Right, okay, last one for today. SE30, the Sacred Site. Use this page to create the details of your setting's sacred site, a place of mystical power and significance to the magic-using beings in your world. Can be as large as a city or as small as a single building, and is watched over by SE13, the Mystic Order. Examples can include Kunlun from Marvel, Atheban and Nanda Parbat from DC.
Okay, right.
Name, first appearance. Oh, first appearance, TBD. 3-part answer question. Ah, you'll like these.
Okay.
This is 3d6.
All right, I've got 3d6. Ready.
Roll them.
Okay, I'm going to line them up in the fashion. Okay, this is the fashion that they're in. The first one was a 4.
An ancient.
The second one was a 3.
Monastery.
And the last one was a 6.
No, I think you'll find that last one was a 5, mate.
Oh. How foolish of me to miss.
Because 6 is near a volcano, but 5 is on a ley line.
Ah, yes, I can see how... Well, I mean, Edinburgh, the castle's built on a volcano. It's not an active one, but it is a volcano.
But, we're going Arthurian, we're going Fae. We might as well throw ley lines into this as well.
I know. I just love the idea of it's like, we're on a volcano, but this is an extinct one. Well, yeah, we wouldn't live near an active volcano. That's dangerous. Fair enough. Yeah.
Wherever the Grail is being kept.
Okay.
I like it.
Got gotta be a lake, the real round table with a lady in it. A watery tart with a sword is no authority of magic powers, okay? Or it could be wherever the grail is being kept. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Millie, a watery tart with a sword is no authority of magic powers.
It's Monty Python.
Yes, no, I know, I know.
Isn't it bint rather than tart? Some watery bint with a sword is no basis for a system of government.
I can't remember.
So the sacred site is an ancient monastery on a ley line where the grail is kept.
We're knights of the round table. And I'll stop now.
Thanks.
Before, yep. Magic, that's
what
my
quirk
superpower.
does the site possess? It is one of many. It is displaced in time. A powerful monster lives here, or its inhabitants aren't human. I think displaced in time.
Interesting. Okay. That's why we keep the swords. It's still a wise decision. Yes.
Time does not flow inside the site and is connected to all moments in time. Visitors to the site may see other visitors from bygone or future eras.
Hello there. Oh my goodness, what are you wearing? I'm from the year 2027. Oh, okay. Why do we just wear really, really bright, like insanely bright suits? It's just in fashion. Fuck you.
And how does the site stay hidden from the world? Infrequent passages, magical barrier, shrouded by illusion, in another world, or a powerful curse. I think any of those are completely workable.
Yeah. So that's Knights the Holy Grail.
Yeah. Well, roll a d6 then.
Okay. Away. 3.
'Tis shrouded by illusion.
All of the above.
Make it invisible or camouflage it with the surrounding landscape.
Curse from the founder of Mad, who is not really dead. That's what Millie's
I think
saying.
shrouded by illusion, because I think the sacred site is supposed to be like a good guy place. We need a decent sounding monastery name for the sort of place that might hold the Grail, and please don't call it the Grail Monastery.
Wouldn't it be just the... And I'm not familiar with how monasteries or places of worship are named, but would they not just call it the monastery of the place it's at, or is there a different naming convention?
Well, they could, but you know, when you've got like Kunlun and Ethathaban and Nanda Parbat and cool names like that,
I mean,
we really want something in like Celtic that means something cool, don't we?
I guess, yeah. If it's London, it'd just look like surroundings. Yeah, that's true.
Well, it doesn't have to be in the city. It could be on the outskirts of the city.
Yeah, like in the...
And with London, that can mean anywhere out to Essex.
Yeah.
There are plenty of obscure saints.
Yeah, we definitely could go down some roads there in that
Saint
respect.
Trumpet, the patron saint of cowboy builders. Actual saint.
Yep.
Saint Dymphna, the patron saint of incest victims. An actual saint.
Saint Egilberth. That's the monastery of Egilberth.
I see where you're going. I want to avoid the words egg and birth in the same word, because I've fallen for this whole thing before. But I'm thinking sort of very, very ancient British name. So Saint Deiful could work. Literally means Saint Devil.
Okay, interesting. Monastery of the Green, non-anomaly, has suggested. Monastery of the Long Fields is, I think, but it's just the Long Fields, but I presume that's in relation.
Oh,
Saint Egg...
we call it Deifel Tor, It's got that sort of mysticky sounding name then. It literally means Devil Hill.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I think Deafel Tor, because that's got a sort of weird, exotic-y sounding name. So we've got the sacred site of Deafel Tor, which is an ancient monastery on a ley line shrouded by illusion, hiding an object of great power, which is the Grail, and is displaced in time. No, Deafel means devil. Tour guides, yes, that's a good point. What's another word that means hill? What's the place that's called Hill?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. Let me think. I'll just Google it. Tropenhau, I think is the
Torpenhau.
one. Yeah. Oh, it's a ghost word, apparently.
There we go, Deafel Pen. 2 ends.
Oh, yep. Okay.
And there we go. We've created another whole bunch of stuff for our Spectaculars game with much help from you very kind people. We've got loads. There are 9 pages of notes here now.
Holy shit, wow.
I mean, it's in like point size 20, so
yeah,
don't
of
get
course,
too excited.
Yeah.
But there is a lot to be getting on with. We've got a lot of world building baked in now for what we've got going on. We've been at it for about 2 hours. Crikey.
Yep.
And we've covered a hell of a lot of ground. I think maybe 1 or 2 more world building sessions like this and we could be hot to trot.
Awesome.
We've got a couple of weeks to go until June, which is when we're talking about launching this game, which is a fantastic sort of time scale to be working on. So thank you ever so very much for joining us this evening on the Spectaculars Worldbuilding channel. Thank you, Nye, for coming in and breaking up me talking randomly at a camera on my own and doing a big crazy eye thing.
No, it's all good. Yeah, it was fun.
We got a pub last week, Bubble Reg. There's a pub that teleports around town.
Yeah.
Magic teleporting pub. Obviously, with it being not London, there'll be hundreds of pubs. Many of which will be called the George.
Exactly. Oh, they would have been delighted. Ah, it's a dragon! Holy shit, it's a fucking dragon! You know what this means, right? I'm just going to sit and wait and drink. No, fair enough.
The patrons of the George versus the dragon. That's not what we meant! Anyway, thank you so much for joining us this evening on Twitch. If you joined us on Twitch and you're watching on YouTube, keep up with the lovely comments. Last session was given loads of really, really useful positive comments, some of which has been put back into today's session. So thank you very much to everybody who's there and done that. Next week on Garblag Games, we have on Monday Absu's Bounty, a game about a ship that's now been destroyed. We're back playing The Expanse and rocking our exotic accents. Tuesday, Worlds Without Number, Lizard Squad will be out on their merry adventures on the island. Tuesday late is Garblag North America, early for them I guess, doing Escape from Skullcano Island with Monster Punching. Wednesday is Once Upon a Time in the Old World, Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing Fun. Thursday
would be...
Are we back
the
on Feudal
Alien,
Stars?
the Aliens, is it the Aliens game?
It's Aliens, that's right, of course it is. Yes, it's Aliens. Millie's running Aliens. I'm going to get told off in chat in a second.
No, it's okay. I remembered tons of people are screaming, Alien! It's Alien, you fools!
It is Alien. Come and watch Pete get murdered horribly. It'll be brilliant. You didn't miss the first episode of Sharadell. It was just character creation, so the first episode is going to be next week. But you can still watch the character creation episode on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then Friday next week will either be some more Spectaculars world building, which is distinct possibility, or a one-shot of those dark places.
Yeah.
Plenty to keep you coming back for more, plenty to keep going on. Coming up in the not too distant future, I have received an email from Modifius telling me that the Dune books are being dispatched imminently, and I will have my hardback copy of Dune in June.
Ooh. Oh, I actually thought you meant June books as in the month. The books
No,
that
I
would
meant
be
the
released
D
in
June
June. Yeah,
will be
no,
available
yeah.
in the J June.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
So that should be arriving in the first week in June, and then towards the end of June, J June, I should be getting Fallout from them as well.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
we've got some exciting one-shot spectaculars coming up of those in July sometime, I imagine. I've still got to run Vampire Dark Ages. That's on the list.
Yeah.
And we've actually had it, the first evidence that people want to see it, a call today for Amber Diceless role-playing. So
yes, that was very interesting.
Love me a bit of Amber.
Yeah, exactly.
June is using the Modifius 2D20 system, which not the greatest, but we'll see how it runs. We'll give it a shot. Same as their Star Trek game.
Modifius here, and they go, "Oh,
well, we're not sponsoring you anymore."
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't do that. I just like the idea of them just like. Oh.
And I did manage to get my grubby little mitts on a copy of Soulbound last week.
Yes.
So
yes,
that has a future potential as well. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I am going now. We are going now. Thank you very much for your time this evening. It's been a very great pleasure, and we will see you on Discord and in future shows. Yeah. Thank you, and good night.